Was it a total lie that you believed you were aware of Remy Ma and Papoose's relationship? What if I told you that Fat Joe was purportedly doing much more than just leaning back behind the scenes, while Papoose was penning love letters and keeping it up with best tributes and prison bids? Because 50 Cent claims that the man who has been referring to Remy Ma as her sibling for more than 10 years may be the true father of her child rather than the man she married. Yes, give that some thought. This is more than simply a hip-hop drama. This is a rap feud encased in a full-fledged Maury episode. And you know who just acted as the host? Fans watched in stunned silence as 50 Cent went live on Instagram and revealed a DNA bombshell so devastating that it left Papoose screaming off camera. Have you witnessed betrayal? Haven't seen anything until you've witnessed the blind side of one of rap's most devoted wives in front of millions of people. Thus, this is more than just a cheating scandal. So fasten your seatbelt. It's a family broken, a friendship destroyed, and a secret so crazy that only 50 Cent could reveal it. In this way, let's begin. This is how it all went haywire. 50 Cent, sipping his Branson cognac as if nothing were amiss, gazed straight into the camera and spoke the statement that ignited hip-hop, turning what had begun as a relaxed, chaotic Instagram Live session into a straight-up soap opera. Fat Joe is the father, not me. Just that, no warning, no build-up. Additionally, there is a visible guy pacing, shouting, and then tossing his phone in the background. It was Papoose, indeed. It was live, too. The comment section melted down at once. Twitter plunged into cardiac arrest as people started screen filming like crazy. Let's go back a bit, though, since if you've been paying attention to the jumbled murmurs, there has always been curiosity about the Remy-Fat Joe friendship, which circulates around back rooms and backstage dressing rooms. Brother and sister. They insisted, Terror Squad family. However, my family doesn't get this cozy. Not when your spouse isn't present. Not when we only have 2 tour stops and late-night studio sessions. Not when the timeline for the baby doesn't add up. One unnamed person who says they helped on Remy's outfit says, even in 2021, things were off for a private occasion. She was always checking her phone and peeking over her shoulder, and her energy would suddenly spike anytime Joe entered the room. They didn't have any microphones with them, so I assumed they were slipping off to practice. Rumor has it that Remy was seen leaving the hotel through the backloading dock that same evening, with Fat Joe trailing 10 minutes behind. It was captured on someone's iPhone, but not by paparazzi. The shaky video has now coincidentally reappeared shortly after 50 Cent's confession. And because this was more than just small talk, let's speak about 50. It was a personal matter. See, 50 Cent and Fat Joe had a long-standing feud that began in the early 2000s, during which time they argued about ego, rap allegiance, and industry deals. Yes, they did squash it in public. But that fire never went out behind closed doors. Therefore, when 50 went live and declared, I'm not lying, but you guys do the math. I've seen the test, and it's not me, and it's definitely not Papoose. That wasn't a rumor. That was an outright murder. It was like witnessing someone smirk while dropping a nuclear bomb, according to one viewer. And throughout all of this, where was Remy Ma? Not at all. She wasn't on the internet, didn't share anything, didn't reject, didn't verify. Was no one from her camp? Fans have been wondering who the father of Rhee's child is from day one, so let's not act like this is a surprise. The baby's skin tone, the chronology of her pregnancy, and Papoose's enigmatic absence throughout significant occasions. All of a sudden, everything fits into a puzzle that nobody wanted to accept as real. But he thinks, 50 Cent, Furthermore, he didn't just mention Fat Joe by name. He doubled down. No. Have you ever wondered why Joe has been so close to her? Why did he always have her back more than her husband? Because he literally had her back. Let that image haunt you, he continued. At this stage of the live broadcast, viewers could see Papoose trembling, not out of astonishment, wrath, or betrayal. Now, the entire world was wondering if the man who had always supported Remy through jail, lawsuits in thick and thin, was actually rearing someone else's child. And not just any man, but his so-called industry brother, who has been his wife's long-standing colleague. A few admirers in the remark, they even began tagging me in their requests for a special hip-hop version. People pleaded with 50 to stop, but he refused, since in true 50 fashion, he had receipts. He once produced a folded envelope and waved it, about as if it were gold during the stream. Know what this is? He made fun of it. The truth is right there. The truth also doesn't lie. However, as if it were 2005, you all continued to keep each other's secrets safe. The audience pleaded with him to open it. He didn't. The reason he has been silent all week is because he smirked. I already know. I have already seen it. And Joe knows too. And you know what? It's not a lie. Given that Fat Joe, who often never hasn't posted on Instagram in 4 days and is missing a beat, no podcast clips, no Throwback Thursdays, no workout videos, just silence, which in the world of celebrities is louder than words. An hour later, leaked recordings revealed that Papoose, once the most famous man in rap, had snapped. The tape purports to show him shouting, "I gave you everything, everything. And this is how you repay me," with him. From the body microphone of a security guard in the rear of a New York City lounge where Remy and Papoose were said to be enjoying a private supper. It was obviously anything but. Now fans are searching through old pictures and examining Remy and Joe's body language. In an attempt to find Remy, people are circling timestamps, comparing tour timetables with pregnancy dates, and even squinting into the background shadows of Fat Joe's Instagram stories. Conspiracy mode is in full swing. And as if that weren't enough, a fan account shared a 2019 video clip in which Fat Joe was asked, "Would you ever mess with someone close to his girl?" During a radio interview, along with his response, "That's a loaded question," he replied, laughing uneasily. It sure is, Joe. It's about to blow up now. The question was no longer whether 50 Cent was telling the truth. How much time had he known? Says 50 doesn't talk until he has ammunition. Let's face it. And when he talks, relationships break down, professions fall apart, and secrets begin to spill out like broken pipes in a Brooklyn basement. This time, the leak was particularly damaging since, within hours of his Instagram Live becoming viral, a purported insider contacted several gossip blogs to assert that Remy Ma and Fat Joe had been having a secret agreement for years. Private knowledge, don't sugarcoat it. The studio chemistry they often spoke about was more than simply music, and they were supposedly hooking up. The two had a pattern, according to one blog source, a lady who claimed to have been Fat Joe's former assistant. Even before Papoose returned home, she wrote, "I used to order Joe's candy and send flowers in Remy's name. On some weekends, they would go on fictitious business trips." That baby wasn't a coincidence. Everyone in their immediate vicinity was aware. Wait, what? We're talking about more than simply treachery now? We are discussing deliberate dishonesty, years of covert rendezvous flights, hotel reservations, and cover-ups. Papoose played the devoted but ignorant spouse, protecting Remy at all costs. Additionally, keep in mind the envelope that 50 Cent brandished during the Instagram Live. A few hours later, an anonymous message appeared on Reddit, purporting to be from in New York City. A lab worker identified the test format from the footage. "That's a typical paternity envelope," he said. Yes, I had already seen that particular one. Although I am unable to verify names, I can tell you that the initials on the sealed results corresponded to two well-known rappers. It isn't phony. We're talking about ND, A-shattering, pandemonium, and hippo-isolating. And Remy Ma remained silent. Nothing, no legal threat, no denial. Which only made matters worse, since in today's world, people start to assume things are true when you don't deny them. Papoose, meanwhile, was in a downward spiral. The next day, friends of the rapper said on a podcast that Papoose hadn't left his residence since the Instagram Live went viral. According to reports, he was ignoring calls, blasting Jodeci like it was a joke, and sipping Hennessy from a solo cup while wearing a bathrobe. Burial. According to one source, he repeatedly played back that live stream. 50 always tosses something. When he says Fat Joe is the father, he seems broken to me. And who wouldn't be, really? Imagine standing up for your wife in the face of a jail bid. Public criticism, betting stages, arguments, industrial turmoil, only to discover that the child you love may not even be yours. And your wife's business partner, the supposed father. However, this was no longer merely a personal matter, because the entire business reacted once 50 dropped that bomb. This was public warfare. Let's dissect it. 5 minutes later, Cardi B deleted a mysterious tweet that said, "Years ago, I had medium skin tone nail polish." Funklex captioned a vintage image of Fat Joe and Remy cuddling backstage. Wasn't it always about the music? When Charlemagne the God brought up the scandal on The Breakfast Club, he bluntly stated, "If this is true, Papoose is the most played man in hip-hop history." You don't recover from this. There's no mixtape hot enough to heal that. Who has a long-standing feud with Remy, even liked a dubious post that stated she ain't his pap. She disrespected him. Darker. Bloggers and gossip sites began to circulate a leaked email purportedly from Fat Joe's team. Our bond was always deeper than the industry knew. Mistakes were made, but they came from a place of love. I hope Papoose can find it in his heart to forgive us someday. Forgive us. Sounds like a draft of a public statement that was never released. It's us. Just Remy. In other words, before the news ever broke, Joe was getting ready to co-sign the entire document. Additionally, the timing is oddly ideal. Fat Joe had canceled a planned podcast appearance, claiming personal problems just days prior to 50's Instagram Live. Let's zoom out now that we know why. There is more to this than a simple love triangle. This has to do with legacy. Papoose was the epitome of devotion. The man who showed up, who held it down, and who waited. Fat Joe was to be his big brother, his mentor and the godfather of their common industry lane, while Remy Ma was to be his ride or die, his queen. And it's all been burnt now. Timelines are overflowing with comparisons of newborn photos from blogs. Backstage passes and travel logs are being extensively discussed in Reddit posts. In theatrical skits, TikTokers acting out the betrayal. Even the hidden love child of Fat Joe and Ray was created by AI memes are becoming popular. The fans are split, which is the worst part. Some people are yelling, "Papoose is worthy of better. Remy is garbage. Joe cracked the code." Others are saying it's all 50 Cent's fault. He's untidy and uses past grudges to maintain his relevance. He set this whole thing up, one user wrote, because 50 Cent is the king of weaponizing information. He doesn't just throw dirt, he buries people in it. And this time, he didn't just throw dirt. 50 is always playing chess while everyone else is playing Candy Crush. Simply damage one marriage. He might have ruined 2 careers, Remy's and Joe's, in a single live stream, but he's not done yet. 50 smirked as he logged off of Instagram Live, saying, "That wasn't even the biggest secret I got." Fans are clamoring for answers as 50 teases. Another drop, as if the streets weren't already on fire. But wait, what? There's more. Are you prepared for what's about to happen? 'Cause things take a dangerous turn. By now, the dust should have started to settle, but it didn't because 50 Cent, being the chaos conductor that he is, wasn't finished. Is there anything else involved? Is this just a love triangle? Or is it something darker? Something that could bring the entire Terror Squad house of cards crashing down. Fans believed the story had reached its climax when 50 released part 2 of the live stream. But this time he wasn't sipping Branson, he wasn't grinning, and he was dead serious. He allowed the internet to stew for a full day, allowing Papoosia's heartbreak and Fat Joe's silence to marinate in the public's mind. He then displayed a screenshot of a text thread with names blurred but one line standing out like a bullet through glass. Don't let him find out. You know how Pap gets? Below that, a timestamp. March 2022, just weeks before Remy gave birth. Still think I'm playing? Nah, I told you, there's more. Let me show you just how dirty this rabbit hole goes. The context of the messages, 50 of which claimed to be between Remy and Fat Joe, was setting up a private meeting to discuss baby-related issues without Papoose knowing. At that moment, thousands of people were watching, and the internet exploded once more. TikTokers were stitching the clip before it even ended, and YouTubers frantically updated their thumbnails mid-edit. The worst thing, though, was when Papoose joined the live stream. Yes, behind a burner account, and fans noticed it. The comment said, "You aren't God, bro," and the username was paphatching83. Give up playing with my family. The anguish, desperation, and resistance to accept what the entire world was witnessing were all audible in that sentence. "You've been played, Pap," he replied, looking at the camera. But 50 didn't back down. We all witnessed it. The last person to believe it is you. Everything changed at that point because Remy Ma's publicist issued a statement immediately following the stream. And it wasn't a denial, a threat of legal action, or even a deflection. Fans interpreted it as a silent admission. Remy Ma has always valued her privacy and her family. Recent revelations have caused deep pain for those involved. While we ask for respect during this time, Remy acknowledges mistakes were made that she will address privately. The mistakes were not false accusations or outright lies. Let that sink in. The media went into a full feeding frenzy. TMZ, The Shade Room, Hollywood Unlocked, Vlad TV, and everyone had an opinion, a leak, and an exclusive. One TMZ report even said that Fat Joe has been covertly paying support for the child's expenses through a third-party business account. This implies that Joe allegedly knew and may have been financing the baby behind Papoose's back while playing. We just did, okay? Uncle Joey in public. You can't script betrayal this good. Oh, wait. Yes, you can. We just did. However, Tapu disappeared while the blogs were trying to capitalize on the drama. There were no posts, stories, or appearances, just gone. Some said he was staying with a cousin in the Bronx in an attempt to find peace, while others said he had checked into a wellness retreat upstate. He's completely broken. Not angry, but broken. And you can't blame him, according to a source close to him. Because if this whole story is true, and Remy Ma not only cheated but also had a child with a man she claimed was like family, then Papoose lost not just a marriage but also his identity, his image, and everything. He built his brand on loyalty and strength, and black love became a national meme. When someone is cheated on by their best friend without even realizing it, it's referred to as #Papoose, eh? One of the trending tweets said, "Forget getting willed. I was just dumped." Yes, it's ironic and unbelievable. But this is where things take a final turn, and no one saw it coming. Don't text me. As everyone believed that the story had reached its climax, a new video appeared. It was not from 50, Remy, or even Fat Joe, but rather from Remy Ma's cousin, Nah Baby, on TikTok. In the 45-second clip, which was shot late at night in what appears to be a Bronx kitchen, Nah looks straight into the camera and declares, "Everyone talking about Fat Joe, this, 50, that. You guys aren't even aware of the half." What would happen if I informed you that it wasn't simply Joe? What if I told everyone that there was a or else? The clip ended and the internet went crazy. Within minutes, someone else became popular all over the world. Was it 50? Was it a bodyguard? Was it a label executive? Then the story changed course once more. What if the 50's reveal was a ruse? What if Fat Joe was the fall guy? What if the real baby Papoose's fans are pleading with him to get a test? Fans are demanding DNA receipts, and Remy Ma is still silent but 50. He's relishing every second. The following day, he shared a fresh Instagram story with the caption, "You thought. That was it. I play chess, as I mentioned, not checkers." One sentence destroyed the illusion of hip-hop's most devoted couple, 50 Cent laughing all the way to the algorithm bank. Remy Ma, silent, Papoose broken, and Fat Joe exposed. Accompanying this was a blurry photo of what appeared to be a hospital. Birth certificate, no name, no date, just a torn piece, enough to spark a million theories. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how one lives. The question is, who is lying now? Who is the real father? And what secret is 50 Cent still hiding? Because if you think this was the last bomb, you obviously don't know how 50 Cent plays the game. Now we turn it over to you, the viewers. Do you believe 50 Cent's story? Warfare? A calculated hit? And the fans? We were just collateral damage caught in the crossfire of a love story that was never really real. We want to hear from Team Papoose, Team Remy, and even the Joe Truthers who believe this whole thing was one big misunderstanding. Backhand index pointing down. Is Fat Joe really the father? Or is this just another chess move in a game of distraction? Was Remy McCode in the middle of two men's egos? Or was she running the game the entire time? And most importantly, was Papoose just a victim? Or did he always know and just stay silent for the sake of the picture? You already know what to do. Subscribe to the channel, enable post notifications, and stay locked in because this story is far from over. This is the Gossip Spill vibe, where the tea is toxic, the secrets are viral, and nobody is safe. If you believe that 50 just destroyed the rap industry, one Instagram live at a time, hit the like button. If you want us to delve deeper, we're talking about leaked direct messages, old tour footage, and backstage microphones. View on the following one. And believe me, it's likely to be even messier. Even messier.